Nature. Who was sleeping?
Question 2.
Who was jumping?
Question 3.
Who was there most of? Dog, cat, penguin.
Who's not there?
Cow.
Reunite. Stop.
Go time.
womp.
Increase velocity. Cross. Dodge. Feed. Let's go. Crack. Yeah. Remember. Question 1.
Who had food?
Question 2.
Who wasn't there?
Question 3.
Who was sleeping?
Remove.
Squid.
Shoot. Flip. Cover.
Yes.
Make them fly. Scare snakes. Works for me. Drink up. Stop. Leave it to me. Clear skies. Reunite. Feed. Crack.
Womp womp.
Shoo. My turn. Cross.
Womp womp.
Another challenge. Remember. Question 1.
Who was jumping?
Question 2.
Who was was there most of?
Question 3.
Who had food? Yes. Squid. Zebra, penguin, cow. Zebra. Womp womp. Womp womp. It was in a pair.
Question 2.
Who wasn't there?
Question 3.
Who was there most of? Womp womp. Womp womp.